Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to the last stream of the year. Give me just 1 second, we will get rolling. Make sure this thing shows up like it's supposed to. And there it is. So I am off of LinkedIn and we are rolling. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome to my home base, the headquarters of all things Dr. Do It, right here in Houston, Texas. This is my office, and I'm pretty excited to share some things with you today. What are we? I'm going to brag. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to brag for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to talk about something that's useful to your time. We're going to talk about maybe some takeaways from this year. I know a lot of people are doing it, and I think there's a reason for that, because you can't just endure and live through this year without articulating something useful that you learned that maybe will help you moving forward. I'm going to give you some thoughts on that, a little bit of advice that I intend to take as well. A lot of people are showing up. Great to see all of you. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? From Morocco, welcome. Awesome. Always blows me away. We got we got lots of places popping up. Wow. All right. Dubai, what's happening? What happened to me? Here it goes. This is the short brag thing. Big year, crazy year. I feel so grateful to share this with you. And I feel strange saying it because so many people had difficult years. I've had a great year. I didn't enjoy being quarantined in the way that I chose to be quarantined to deal with the virus. But nonetheless, it was a great year. First of all, I had a little health trend going on. I lost over 60 pounds. Thank you very much. This took a lot of work. I've gained back a few because the holidays, but basically I did cut back on the booze and make sure to start exercising for once. I mean, really, is it that hard? The formula is pretty straightforward. I'm going to talk more about that later. I started doing live streams. Hey, how are you? And I've enjoyed it so much, I'm going to keep these going next year. So be on the lookout on LinkedIn. You'll see more. Wrote a little something, published this. Some people are really enjoying it. I hope you'll find your copy. It's my second book of stories. It's about living fully and embracing risks and loving creativity and innovation and change. And I think those themes are more relevant than I could have possibly known when I wrote the darn thing. So I hope you find that interesting. Got a new speech I'm working on, almost done, ready to go. That goes with the book. Very excited. I booked not one, but two new Tedx Talks. So my first was in 2013. As you know, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's still fun. It's one of the stories, a version of one of the stories that I use in the keynote that goes with Show Your Ink. Very excited. One of them's coming up at Texas A&M in March. It's going to be in person. We'll see if they're going to do that live in person like they think they are or not, but it's going to be a limited audience, one of those deals where we try to keep it very safe. And then one in June that's virtual out of New Jersey, I believe. Very excited. More on both of those will be posted online when it's relevant. I hope that you'll sign up and enjoy one or both of those Tedx Talks. Very excited. What else did I do? Well, I had a whole lot of people watched a whole lot of my courses. I'm so grateful for that. You'll never know how grateful I am for that. I get notes from you, by the way, almost every day, and I cherish them because they help me know where I'm really having an impact, and that motivates me so much. Slow year next year for speaking. I booked a lot of gigs, 11 so far. COVID. What more can you say about that? I also created 4 new courses. They have been filmed, they've written and filmed, and now they're in the editing with the studio that I'm working with. I don't know where which platform they will end up on, but I'm very excited about them. I'm going to tell you the names of those 4, or at least the tentative names. 1, Live Hard. Yeah, it goes with the themes in the book. Next one, Show Your Ink. I've been needing to make that course for quite some time, and I cannot wait to share it with the world. The third one is Authenticity and Productive Relationships at Work. I've hung my hat for years now on caring about and talking about, teaching about authenticity. I think you're going to love that one. And the last one, Helping Employees Embrace Change. Yes, we need more content out there right now. I think we can all agree that help people deal with these issues. Hey, Dean, great to see you. By the way, anyone who has a comment, drop it. Love to read those. If you have a question, drop it as well. We will try and make sure to answer it before we're done today. So I've been very, very busy. Let's get on with it. This was a crazy year. Maybe I should say it was a horrible year for so many of us. Very difficult. I hope that you're faring well. I mean that sincerely. Staying connected is part of staying healthy, and I hope that you have a support team. If you don't, well, maybe in the smallest of ways, I'm part of that team, and that makes me very happy. If I can be useful, don't hesitate. Connect on LinkedIn. Send me a note. I'd love to chat. What did I learn? Number one, things do not go as planned. No, they don't. I could go on for hours just about that. You know, before LinkedIn helped put my face around the globe for a lot of online learners, I tried to do that myself. I've written about this in a couple of different places. Maybe you've seen it, but I tried my own online learning business. Spent a lot of money, made a lot of videos, and very few people cared because it turns out I'm not a marketer. I'm a legit leadership expert and self-help guy. I got to tell you, I now know I am not a marketer. Then later, thankfully, who I am and what my content is started to have an impact because people who are great at marketing, LinkedIn, found me, and we've been making sweet music ever since. Things don't always go as planned. That's okay. The question is whether or not you're learning something. Whether or not you are bold enough to go, I made a mistake, I screwed up, I fell short, I didn't get accomplished what I thought I was going to get accomplished. That happens. It happens to the very best of us, and it happens with more frequency than any people like to admit, to be honest with you. That's human. It's normal. The faster you can go, I'm normal and imperfect, and those things happen, the faster you'll kickstart some learning that, in fact, might help you a whole lot the next time you try something similar. Things do not go as planned. That's okay. Don't take things for granted. This is one of my favorite takeaways for the year. We get so busy every day. Busy causes problems with things we ideally should do that we forget about. Little things like saying thank you. Little things like saying, you know, I'm going to call so-and-so, haven't connected for a while. Little things like saying I love you. Don't wait. If you can still hug the people around you, I don't know what your quarantine situation might be, but if you can, go hug them. Say, I love you, and say thank you when it's appropriate, and mean it. People really do need to hear that. You might be quite surprised. There's a lot of science there. You might be quite surprised how much real gratitude helps other people. It's one of the most powerful free gifts that you can possibly get. Count your blessings, folks. Do not take things for granted, no matter how bad you think it is. Regroup, get focused on being grateful for what you still got, and think about growing from there, because the other perspective of blaming and negativity goes nowhere. That brings me to an ugly realization from 2020. Here's a realization. You ready? Hate is a virus. Hate is a virus. Negativity spreads like a virus. I'm not going to get political, and I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to tell you, as I've watched dialogue on social media platforms, dialogue in friends circles, dialogue on the news about a variety of issues unfold over the year, I saw what I honestly think is maybe a systemic degradation of the quality of dialogue. We have people finding it more matter of fact acceptable to be negative, not just about someone's opinion, but about someone they're talking to. And I think this is a horrifying development. And I can't change the world tomorrow. And I don't know, maybe you can. Maybe we can all do our tiny little part by choosing not to be part of that viral mechanism. When it hits you, and it will, coming from people's mouths or from the news or wherever you see it, you have to make a choice not to show back to them what you received. That is hard to do sometimes, and it is the right thing to do. And it doesn't, I'm not trying to make you feel like you're a better person. I'm trying to make you feel good, and then turn around and be productive and share good outwards towards others, because the more you reciprocate any of that negativity, the less productive and happy you will be. It is that simple. No more viral hate from you and me next year. Few people hopefully are going to get that message, and I think how we actually all talk is going to change. I want that to be true. I really, really do. Here's one. Ready? Safety is an illusion. Oh, how many of us felt like we kind of had a grip on things when this year started to unfold? I never told you this. I just thought I was going to be a happy-go-lucky speaker, writer guy. And, well, I almost got stuck in Australia. I was on stage doing a speech, and Literally, after I was done, the organizer of the event came on and announced that the rest of the event was canceled immediate. People needed to leave, etc., because the country was closing down, in so many words. And my wife and I had to go find early flights home and escape in the nick of time before we would have been stuck there for a long time. I've got another 50 of those examples, and I know you do too. What a year for those holy cow, can you believe it type stories. Things don't go as planned. Safety is an illusion, which means you need a backup plan. Plans need contingencies. Your next pivot you're not thinking about because you're just now starting to feel maybe a little okay with the pivot that you assembled this year, thanks to being forced to do so. I mean, some of you, it might be that you had to learn how to work at home. That's a big one. Some of you, it might be you had to rearrange how you do childcare and other things in your life to make it work. Some of you had to change roles, expand roles. Some of you were let go. That's happened to so many people. Some of you had to build new skills, turn side hustles into actual business. Many, many versions of those things are happening. Now we know it's very possible. According to the experts, it can happen again. It will happen again. So what's your next pivot? I love that we've started talking about side hustles and people doing hobbies that make cash and things of that nature because, well, more of us need it. And the more you take the risks now, when do you fix the roof? When it's not leaking. Take those risks now. You'll be ready later with contingencies. And by the way, I'm so proud of you for all the big goals you're chasing. But what are those contingencies there? Like my video business that failed miserably. What are you going to do if that happens? You got to have a plan. My plan was to put it all for free out on the internet, which I did back in the day. It was all on YouTube. All the content I referenced a little while ago. It's not there now. You can't find it, but it was there for a while. And it's one of the things that some people over at LinkedIn put eyeballs on that led us to a conversation and led us to make a great relationship. So that plan worked for me. Not every contingency will, but I guarantee you, if you don't define it, it can't happen. I love it. I love it. Here's one. And normally I'm Mr. Positivity. You guys know this. I like to show it. I like to encourage it. I like to give people tools to embrace it. Oh, great. This is a little heavier because that's the kind of year we had. People are hurting. That's the last takeaway. People need your help. I think that when we experience difficult, challenging times, I know that what we do is become a little insular, a little more risk averse, a little more self-focused. These are fairly natural things, but taken to the extreme, and boy, did we have extremes this year. I know that you experienced them just like I did. Well, they can become a problem. They really can become a problem. I want you to know that no matter how much you had a misstep or a setback on some of your goals, or whatever the unique flavor of pain was that you had to endure so far this year, kudos to you for enduring it. Perseverance is amazing. I hope you're showing us all how to get that done. We need more models of that. Listen, the guy next to you, your kids at school in ways that you didn't know, your neighbor in ways that you didn't know, the person you always say hello to at the grocery store in ways you did not know, the people you see and shake hands with at church in ways you did not know. All kinds of people that you know are experiencing curveballs, some of which are just very, very difficult right now. So what I want to remind you to do while you've got your head tucked in your shirt, as we all kind of bunker down during these difficult, unexpected, crazy times, I want you to remember to find small ways to go help others. The simple intention and act of doing it does good. Let me say that again. If you can't give massive hours, give 5 minutes, give an hour. If you can't give massive dollars, give $5, give $1 to a person or a cause that's really in need. Do it. It will make you feel a little better and remind you the world is bigger than you and the four walls that seem to be coming in on you all year long. It is. And it's going to help them. It's going to help them continue moving forward. We have forgotten, I think, because of fear of the virus and related issues, we've forgotten to do this. And I just want to remind you that even though it feels sometimes like we're hitting rock bottom, the truth is perspective is a choice. And that's powerful psychology for your life. It really is. And I want you to remember, you do have some gas left in the tank. I don't know what that might be for you. It might be volunteering. It might be a few phone calls. It might be pro bono work. It might be dollars. Who knows what it is? But you do so. You have value to give to others because just like you, they're going through unique and unexpected levels of pain this year. I'm done ranting about that topic so explicitly, but I hope that you'll think about it and pull your head out of that turtleneck and go find someone who needs a hello, how you doing, attaboy, a hug, $1, whatever it might be. Please go do that. I'm reading some of your comments, folks. So good. Afghanistan, what's up, brother? Good to have you here. See, I was laid off exactly 4 weeks into my dream job. I can't tell you how many people, folks, have reached out to me, and I always return these notes. I don't care. It takes a lot of time sometimes, but I always return them. And they've told me, you know what? Here's the toughest one for me this year. I've discovered your work because I'm laid off. I've had a lot of notes that start that way, and it makes me so happy, and it makes me so sad at the same time. It's a strange emotion. I'm not sure how to really explain it. But I've met a lot of people that say what you're saying. On my screen, it says LinkedIn user. I don't know your name. I'd call you by your name. Lost your dream job 4 weeks in. That's crazy. If you, sir or ma'am, are the type of person capable of actually securing a dream job, that tells me all kinds of things about you. And it makes me happy because you're going to figure out how to understand how you got there, how to leverage that, and how to go for round 2 when the opportunity presents itself. I'm not going to give a networking speech. Boy, a whole lot of folks have heard too much of that this year for good reason. But good for you. You made it to the top of that mountain, which means you can do it again. Don't ever forget that. Hey, from Libya, what's happening? We got Libya in the house. Man, so cool. So cool. Dotine, am I saying your name right? This is when innovation kicks in. Wow, you are correct. Some of the best ideas and changes that we finally embrace come from some of the most difficult times. There's just no doubt about that. And I hope for you, for your family, for your work team, for your organization, for your industry, I hope that there's some evidence of that. For example, in my business, a whole lot of people get more serious about understanding streaming, understanding the use of tools like Zoom, understanding online content creation. We've been forced to get better at this and find new ways to do that. And I'm better as a result. I mean, how did I pivot this year? I'm doing more of this, less of traditional speaking, because that doesn't really exist much anymore. Not yet anyway. Good, I can't wait to get back on stage someday. And really refocusing. As you know, I'm an educator from back in the day before I started pontificating for a living. I was a professor. I loved that. And I have really rekindled a portion of my educational self and gotten focused on courses. I'm writing the next batch right now. And I've told you this before, for the next many years, I'm going to be kicking out more courses. I'm very excited. Very excited to say that. All right. What's my advice? I've got just a few minutes. Number one, optimism's a choice. It's a choice. Perspective is a choice. I want you to think about how you are making yourself secure or vulnerable in terms of maintaining your optimism as we continue to move through this difficult period that has not ended yet. I want you to think about who you give access to you. How many people are building you up and making you better? How many people are chipping away at your soul in ways that you wish they would not? It is not easy to admit that there are people in your life who aren't feeding you the positivity that helps you, well, raise yourself up and help others feel raised up as well. But when you can be brave enough and strong enough to identify them, you have to give them less time. If it's possible, you might want to cut them out of your life. That sounds brutal to some of your ears, and I don't want it to, but it is valuable advice, because who you give access to you matters a great deal. And I also remind you, in terms of optimism, to think about what you're consuming. Think about the shows you watch, the things you read. You have a choice there as well. I don't want any of you to close your eyes and forget reality. I want you to engage things that help you understand entertainment and reality in a balanced, reasonable, on average, positive way. No more doom spirals. Have you heard that, where you read the news and it's just so engaging and negative and people are so crazy? You can't believe the words you're reading. You got to click on some more and keep researching all of this insanity. Don't do that doom spiral. And we'll admit it, did you lose yourself for a few hours reading negative, scary things this year on multiple occasions? You know you did. I know, because I like to think I'm better than average, and I did it too. Don't do that. Go find the positive news to balance out the negative news, and don't overindulge in thinking about negative. Acknowledge it's there. Think about how you relate to it, make a plan to be productive, and then get focused not on that big picture, which spirals too quickly. Get focused on today. What are the simple things you can do to be productive and positive? Today, that's what you should do. Stay connected, even if it's virtual. I know everyone's saying that, but now I've reminded you too, because it's so important. When you get alone too much, and that's another one of these bullets in just a second. When you get alone too much, it's strange, and thoughts aren't always as productive as they could be. They can go off the rails quick. When you have people and connections, you have perspective, and that is beautiful. Human warmth makes you a little bit better. Don't forget that. It's a Zoom call away. It's a phone call away. It's a distance conversation with a neighbor in a yard. Connect with people. If you can stop right now and think about one or two people you really enjoy, who you haven't connected with for months and months and months, man, that is on you. Pick up the phone or schedule a Zoom call. Something you want to see them. You want to hear them. You want to talk to them. It's just so precious, and it's free. What are you doing? I wrote this one, invest in your health. I'm not going to get on a trip here, by the way. I know that there's a massive industry, a huge world of information about health in many ways that you can think about yours and improve yours, change yours. And I just want to remind you of only one thing on this point. Little tiny changes can help. I am a walker. Hi, I'm Todd. I'm a walker. Nice to meet you. I can't run a marathon. Never going to happen, but I can walk, and the benefits are huge. How did I lose 60 pounds, you ask? Finally, he tells us. How do you do it? Eat better, drink less, exercise more. Complex math, right? If I can do it, believe me, anyone can do it. All you have to do is start walking. How do you like that for an easy? You cannot disavow how easy that is. Little task. Invest in your health. The more you make your health a priority, the better your health up here tends to be, and the better your work tends to be. These things are all related. You know this, right? The foundation is health. Invest in it. All right. Many small wins. A lot of people are looking for New Year's resolutions around this time of year. I'm going to give you some sage advice real quick. Good to see you, Andrew. Man, we've got some people from all over. I just love it. Listen, a lot of people are going to talk in the next few days about New Year's resolutions. If you have them, good luck to you, and kudos for trying to care and be proactive and make goals of that nature. I do, however, have some problems with New Year's resolutions. I watch people fumble with them all the time. My advice to you, I think you need to articulate some systematic, repeatable small wins. What you're looking for is a task you know is useful and productive that you got to do that makes you feel better when you're done. I'll give you an example. I got paralyzed. Writers of all shapes and sizes, we can get paralyzed on occasion where the words aren't flowing like they normally do. It doesn't happen to me often, but it does once or twice a year for a week or something. Really, I'm blocked. Nothing's flowing. And I made up, I realized that, thankfully I realized that, and I decided to do something about it. And my approach was to say, I will write one script a day. One script for me is about 500 words, give or take. One script. I don't have to think about writing 3 or 4 or a course or getting to those other courses I've got planned. That's a mountain, and climbing a mountain's hard, but I can take one step. Or in this case, write one script. And when I do, it feels great. The block loosens, words start flowing. I don't have to climb a mountain today. I just have to take one good step forward. What is that for you? If your New Year's resolution is about health, for example, you don't have to lose 50, 60, 70 pounds. You want to say, I want my daily habit to change. I'm going to consume beer less often, or whatever it might be for you. Pick an indulgence and choose to indulge it less. I'm not kidding. As a coach, I've shared this with a lot of people. Stick it on a calendar. Hey, once a week for that thing you normally do 4 times a week. Stick it on a calendar. Make it a thing that you have given yourself permission to do. But this much, not this much. Those are the types of repeatable small wins that absolutely make you change. Last one. You ready? No, two more. Growth is a choice. I mentioned the calendar, and it made me think about this. Growth is a choice. A lot of people are born with all kinds of advantages. I never would disavow any of that. It's fascinating. It's true. But then there's what we've got and what we do with it. There's what we've got and what you choose to do with it. I want you to make the choice to grow. There are so many platforms, from freebies like YouTube and Khan Academy to places where you can pay to get access to content like LinkedIn Learning or Udemy, where you need to get focused, because no matter what it is, there's an opportunity to build skill in that area. So Todd, you're preaching. What's the skill you're going to build this coming year? I've made a little commitment to myself to get better in the kitchen. I've been ordering a lot of food. I'm going to start cooking just a little bit more. Would you like to know where I got inspired to try and improve my skills in the kitchen? It's TikTok, an addictive and strange and beautiful platform. If you've not checked it out, you really should go. I think it's fascinating. Last one. This one is interesting. I want you to embrace the quiet. Now, normally before the pandemic, what I witnessed when I talk to people and observe people is that we don't have enough time alone. Quiet, self-reflective, whether you're just trying to enjoy silence or a great song or actually meditate or some version of that works for you. On average, we don't do that enough. And I could do a whole show on that. Maybe I will next year. And that's important for you to hear that. Now, COVID happens, and so many people are alone and working in a home that never thought about that before. And they are sick of being alone and hate it and really want some social interaction. I know where a lot of people are going crazy. I hear you. What I want you to know is that as the vaccine spreads and as we get back to a new normal, whenever that happens, a new place where life kind of feels like it used to, when we get back there, don't forget, just because you can go to work and be social now, that you need time to reflect. You need that alone time, that quiet space. You quiet down, disconnect from the phone, stop watching Netflix. Just think. Your thoughts will be clear. So let me ask you, what's it worth to have thoughts that are more clear about your behaviors, your feelings, your goals, your relationships? What's that worth? The answer is priceless is what it's worth. So give yourself, even after we get back to normal, some of that quiet alone time and make it useful for yourselves. All right. This is the last live stream of 2020. I'll say what I always say to wrap it up. I'm so grateful for you. Thanks for all the support that you give me. If you've not connected with me on LinkedIn, why not? Reach out and connect. I'd love to say hello. If you haven't been to the website in a while, go over to drdoit.com. Check it out. Look at the blog. Sign up for the newsletter. Hey, I've got a page full of inspirational graphic quotes that you really need to go check out. They're free. Just grab one and share it with your team. I bet you it will start an interesting conversation. I sincerely hope that you and yours have an interesting and fun and safe New Year's. I will see you next year.